Now you are on tour at the moment with Kitaro.
Yes.
Tell me about the tour.
I work for Kitaro as his musical director.
Yeah.
So I've written all of his orchestrations and I play the piano. So in our concerts on tour, I'm front centre conducting the orchestra, playing the piano, and the kind of the conduit between him, where he's a synthesizer player, so between him and the orchestra. So it's great fun.
Cool. Now you are one of the most prolific, creative people I know. You actually composed our theme tune. Thank you so much for that. Very catchy, everyone's singing it right now. But tell me, as a creative person, the process of creativity, how does it work?
It can be a minefield. You know, if we think about when we're kids, we're always creative. We do stuff all the time because there's every reason to be creative.
Yeah.
Yet, when we're adults, we often say we've got all of the following reasons not to be creative.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know, maybe it comes with responsibility, that we want to feel like we're actually engaged in things that are guaranteed to be productive. I don't know, because when you're involved in creative things, there's always the risk that, you know, you pour your heart and soul into something and then it doesn't really blossom, you know, but that's part of being creative, is to work through that. And
this is true for every person, not just musicians. So business people, people at home, people, no matter what walk of life you're in, you have the opportunity to be creative and you may not take it.
Yes, yeah. And I think for a lot of people, they might not necessarily know what the thing is that they'd like to be creative within. Yeah. And that's very difficult. So to you know, a lot of us, we stumble upon the thing that we actually enjoy, and then the thing that ultimately we end up being good at. If you haven't stumbled upon that thing, then, you know, but you know inside you that you feel like you're a creative person, then you have to be very patient and you have to go out and look at lots of things, read lots of books, go to lots of movies, talk to lots of people, and, you know, to increase the odds that you might actually stumble upon the thing that you're good at.
Why do you think creativity is important?
Because it gives us something that we can consider to be our own. So it's your baby. Whatever the thing is, it's the thing that only you can have made. Yeah. So it's something that it's not just about ownership, because, you know, people take ownership over other people's work all the time if they've contributed to something. So it's more than that. It's about feeling that you actually birthed something that's unique, that's a part of you.
What would you say to a person who says, well, look, that's all right for you. You are a creative. That is who you are. But I'm not. What would you say to that person?
To be brave, to try. And then if you can find the thing that you'd like to be creative within, part and parcel of that is developing the skills that go hand in hand with it, because you know, I can be, in my mind, I can be as creative as I like with pottery, but until I actually develop the skills of being a potter, I'll never actually be able to do the thing. So the two things have to go hand in hand. But if you're not willing to be creative, then it won't happen. You need to believe that it's possible for you to do anything that you want, and you can. You know, anyone can do anything.
So do you think being creative unleashes the power to do other things?
Yes. Yeah, because it gives you the confidence to say, well, I managed to do this. So when something else turns up, you look at it and you say, sure, I'll give that a go. Yeah.
And I guess that's the point, that creating stuff does require you probably to go through some kind of pain or growth. Yeah. It's
immensely challenging. And it's the hardest thing in any creative process is to see the thing through to completion. So creative people struggle often. The one thing that you don't need around you is a whole lot of unfinished projects, because they sit there and they say, oh look, you didn't finish this one, you probably won't finish me either, you know. So it's so important to see things through to completion, and then you can say, right, it's done now. It might not be perfect, because we have to celebrate imperfection. It might not be perfect, but it's done, and I can move on and do this one now.
Okay,
and it's really hard.
So what would you say, final word, what would you say to someone who wants to create something, anything, it doesn't really matter what it is, and they're starting with a blank sheet of paper?
Not to second guess their very first step.
Right.
To do anything to get going.
Yeah.
And to not be critical of that first step, because the first step always leads to the second step.
Fabulous.
As you move on, it will become whatever it will be.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephen, that's awesome. Now, don't go away, because, big treat for all of us, you're going to be here playing piano along with our guest musician today.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, thank you.